dear friends, welcome back to my channel. Hope you all are studying hard. Today we'll continue with brainstem part 2. That is the continuation of my previous lecture. So let's start. Okay, now in my previous lecture we have seen the anterior, lateral and the posterior view of brainstem and the attachment of cranial nerves in brainstem. Third cranial nerve to the 12th cranial nerve. Now we'll see the development of brainstem from the spinal cord and the nuclei of cranial nerve in the brainstem. Before going into the development of the brainstem, first I would like to tell you that among 12 cranial nerves, which are pure sensory, which are pure motor and which are mixed. So have a look here. First is olfactory nerve, which is pure sensory nerve. Second is optic, that is also pure sensory. Third, oculomotor, that is pure motor. Fourth, trochlear, that is also pure motor. Trigeminal is a mixed nerve. Mixed nerve means sense it has both type of fiber, sensory as well as motor fiber. Abducent, sixth nerve, that is motor. Facial, it is also mixed nerve, means it has both type of fibers, sensory as well as the motor. Vestibulocochlear, 8th cranial nerve, that is pure sensory. Glossopharyngeal nerve, vagus nerve, 9th and 10th, this both nerves are mixed nerve. Spinal accessory nerves, that is 11th cranial nerve, that is pure motor, and the hypoglossal nerve, that is also pure motor nerve. So mainly cranial nerve 1, 2 and 8. These three cranial nerves are pure sensory in nature, means they are having sensory nuclei as well as the sensory fibers. Cranial nerves 3, 4, 6, 11 and 12. These cranial nerves are pure motor nerve, means they are having motor nuclei as well as the motor fiber. And 5th, 7th, 9th and 10th. These four cranial nerves are mixed in nature, means they have both sensory as well as the motor fiber. Now it is very important to know about the motor, sensory and mixed nerve because the situation of nuclei are depending on it. So let's start with the development of brainstem. As you all of you know that the spinal cord is extending upwardly and it converts into the brainstem. So quickly we'll revise the structure of spinal cord as when the spinal cord going upwardly, when it converts into the brainstem, the structure will be different from the spinal cord structure. So just have a look on the basic structure of the spinal cord. This is the cross section of spinal cord. This is the posterior part of spinal cord and the anterior part of spinal cord. Inside grey matter is situated and outside is white matter is situated. These are grey horn cell, anterior grey horn cell. These are lateral grey horn cell and these are posterior grey horn cell. Anterior grey horn cell are motor in nature and posterior grey horn cells are sensory in nature, and it gives origin to all the sympathetic chain. Okay, now in previous lecture we have seen that this spinal cord going upward and it form medulla oblongata, and from the posterior part of medulla oblongata, when we try to open up the spinal canal, it will form the floor of the fourth ventricle. So that we have seen. Now there is, as I said, there is difference between the structure of brainstem and the structure of spinal cord. Why is it like that? Okay, so as you know, the brainstem is having three parts: midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata. So when this spinal cord extends upwardly, the total brainstem will be divided into three parts. Again I am repeating, when spinal cord is going upward, okay, it will convert into the medulla oblongata, pons and midbrain respectively, and this midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata will be divided into three parts mainly. So we'll see that three parts. The most anterior part is called as basis. Can you see in this diagram? Assume that this is the spinal cord, this is midbrain, this is pons and medulla oblongata. So this is the whole structure when you look this structure from the superiorly. Okay, so this is anterior part, this is middle part and this is the posterior part. So the most anterior part of brainstem is called as basis. This is basis. Clear? Now most middle part, this is the most middle part of the brainstem, which is called as tegmentum. So this middle portion is called as tegmentum. and the most posterior part of the brainstem is called as tectum. Fine. So the whole brainstem is divided into three parts. The most anterior, suppose this is the brainstem. This is the whole brainstem. So the most anterior part is called as basis. The most middle portion is called as tegmentum, and the most posterior part is called as tectum. Now we are going to see which structures are situated in basis, which structures are situated in tegmentum and the tectum. Before going into that, I would like to show you this image in a lateral view. This is the anterior view, right? Now we'll see this image in lateral view. So this is the lateral view of brainstem. Suppose this is the face. Okay, so in lateral view, if we see, this portion is anterior most portion, which is called as basis. Okay, the middle part of brainstem, this is called as tegmentum, and the posterior part is called as tectum. So this is the view from the anterior part, and this is the view from the lateral part. This portion basis, this tegmentum, and this tectum. Now in my previous lecture we have seen that there are four systems passing from brainstem. Okay, so first system is descending tract. Okay, the descending tract are passing from the brainstem. Second is ascending tract. The ascending tracts are going from spinal cord to cerebral cortex through the brainstem. Cerebellar system, you know the cerebellum is attached with the posterior part of brainstem. Okay, so this brainstem is attached with the cerebellum, so this system is called as posterolateral system. And cranial nerve system, the nuclei of cranial nerve and the cranial nerves are situated in the anterior lateral part of the brainstem. So there are mainly four systems: descending tract, which is passing through the brainstem; ascending tracts, which are also passing through the brainstem; cerebellum is situated posterior side, so the posterolateral system; and the cranial nerves are situated in anterior and the lateral, so anterolateral side. So these all systems are situated or are passing through the brainstem. So now we'll see which system is situated in a which part of brainstem. As we have seen, there are three parts: basis, tegmentum, and the tectum. So this is, I am talking about the general brainstem. I am not talking in terms about the medulla or a pons or a midbrain. That we will learn in my next video. Right now I am talking in a generally that which system are situated in which part of the brainstem. So before going into that, first, as we have seen, this is the cross section of spinal cord. These are motor gray neuron, these are lateral horn cell, and these are posterior or a sensory gray horn cell or a neuron. So when this spinal cord is going upwardly and it converts into the medulla oblongata, this is the cross section of medulla oblongata. So we have seen that the posterior part of medulla oblongata, when I dig my finger here and I try to open it up, okay, it will form this type of structure. Okay, this spinal canal will open up here and it form this type of structure, that is called as floor of fourth ventricle. So now when I try to open up this spinal canal, whenever I try to open it, this motor neuron will come together and this posterior neuron will go outer part of the brainstem. Again, suppose this is the spinal canal. Okay, when I am trying to open it like this, okay, when I am trying to open it like this, so this motor neuron will come together and this posterior neuron will go to the outer side of the midbrain or a pons or a medulla oblongata. That is why, suppose this is the cross sectional. This is the cross sectional of medulla oblongata. Okay, so this is the representation of medulla oblongata. This is the pyramidal part of medulla oblongata, which is situated most medially, and these are the olivary part of medulla oblongata, and this is the anterior portion and this is the posterior part of medulla oblongata. Now we have seen there are three parts of brainstem: basis, tegmentum, and the tectum. So I would like to draw the first basis part. So this is the basis part of medulla oblongata. Okay, this is basis part. Okay, now which structure are passing through the basis part? Basis part is situated most anteriorly, and if you have watched my all the descending tracts video, you come to know that all the descending tracts are mainly passing from the anterior part of brainstem and it is going to the anterior Greyhound cell of the spinal cord. Do you know that? Right? Is it clear with you? The descending tracts are passing from the most anterior part of the brainstem and the spinal cord. We have seen corticospinal tract. It is going through the anterior part of medulla oblongata. It decussate at the anterior part of medulla oblongata and it going to the anterior part of or anterior Greyhound cell of spinal cord. That means most of the descending tract are passing from the bases. So this bases contain or consist of all the descending tract fibers. Which fiber? Descending tract fibers. Okay. So this is the first system. We have covered the descending tract are passing through the bases. Okay. Second, we'll see the tegmentum. The tegmentum is the most medial part of the brainstem. See, I am just giving the example of medulla oblongata. This basis, tegmentum and tectum. These all three structures are also situated in pons and midbrain also. So this is the tegmentum part. Okay, this is the tegmentum part. Now, as I said, when I try to open up the spinal canal, the motor neuron, these are the motor neuron. This motor neuron will come together and the sensory neuron will go more to the lateral part of the brainstem. So, in this motor and the sensory neuron, this motor and the sensory neuron are situated in tegmentum. We have seen in spinal cord, the motor and the sensory neuron and the lateral Greyhound cell neuron, these are situated in the central part and the white column is outer side. But when the spinal cord converts into the medulla oblongata, pons and the midbrain, this motor nuclei will come into the tegmentum part of the brainstem. So, this is the middle part, suppose. So the most medially nuclei is present. This most medial nuclei are motor gray nuclei. It's a motor gray nuclei which are well defined, which are present in spinal cord in the anterior part. Okay, but in brainstem they come together, and the most laterally are situated. The most laterally are situated sensory gray nuclei. Sensory gray nuclei. So the middlemost are motor. These are motor, and the lateral most are sensory gray nuclei, because this sensory nuclei will go lateral part of the brainstem when we try to open up the spinal cord canal. So this both type of gray nuclei are situated in tegmentum. I hope you understood this concept, because it is very important why the anterior or motor nuclei are situated in anterior part of spinal cord and the motor nuclei of brainstem are situated in medial side, and why the sensory nuclei are situated in the posterior part of spinal cord and they are situated in lateral part of the brainstem. So now the most important second concept is, if you have seen in this diagram, the cross section of spinal cord is very well defined. You can easily see this H type of structure is gray matter. This is gray matter and this is the white matter. So it is clearly, we can clearly demarcate between the gray matter and the white matter. So when this gray matter, when the gray matter or a gray column, mostly gray column is situated in spinal cord and white column is situated outer side of the spinal cord. So I will use the gray column or a white column term. Okay, so the gray column is situated inside the spinal cord. So when this spinal cord is going upwardly at the level of medulla oblongata, you know, most of or a majority of the tracts, ascending as well as the descending tract, they are decussate at the level of medulla oblongata. Again, when this gray column is going upwardly and it converts into the medulla oblongata, so in the middle part of medulla oblongata, we have seen many of the tracts are passing or crossing with each other. So there are major or a heavy crossing at the level of medulla oblongata. Due to this major and the heavy crossing, the gray matter cannot bear the load of that major crossing. Because of the major crossing, as the tracks do cross at the level of medulla oblongata, that gray matter cannot bear the load of that major crossing. So the gray matter will be broken down into pieces. The gray matter of the spinal cord will be broken down into small, well-defined pieces at the level of tegmentum of the brainstem. So this broken down, well-defined pieces is called as gray matter nuclei. So these are gray matter nuclei. Actually, this gray matter nuclei are the broken pieces of the gray matter column of the spinal canal. It will broken down into small pieces and they are so well defined that the medial pieces are called as motor gray neuron and the lateral pieces are called as sensory gray neuron. So this anterior part of gray canal will be broken down and it form the medial gray motor neuron, and the posterior part of gray column will be broken down into well defined pieces and they form sensory gray nuclei in the tegmentum part of medulla oblongata, pons and midbrain. So these are the gray matter nuclei. Okay. Now you know the concept that the motor nuclei is situated in the middle part and the sensory nuclei is situated in the lateral part. So we have seen that this cranial nerve, okay, the first, second and eighth, these are the sensory cranial nerve. It means they are having sensory nuclei. So the sensory nuclei is situated in which part of brainstem, middle or a lateral? Yes, it is situated in the lateral part of the tegmentum because the sensory nuclei is situated in the laterally. Okay, they are laterally. Second, the motor nerve 3, 4, 6, 11, 12. These are pure motor nerve, and we have seen the motor gray nuclei are situated in the most middle part of the tegmentum. So that is why the nuclei, the cranial nerve nuclei of 3, 4, 6, 11 and 12, they are also present in the medial part because ultimately this motor nuclei and the sensory nuclei, these are called as a cranial nerves nuclei from which all the cranial nerves are originated. So hope you understood with this concept. So we have seen the motor nuclei in tegmentum, sensory nuclei in tegmentum. Now we'll see the second system, that is ascending tract. Okay, so most of the ascending tract are passing through the tegmentum part of medulla oblongata, pons and the midbrain. So some of the ascending tract are passing from the lateral part of the tegmentum of brainstem and some of the ascending tract are passing from the anterior part of the tegmentum of brainstem. So these are ascending tracts. Ascending tracts. Okay. We have seen motor nuclei, sensory nuclei, ascending tract. Few tracts are passing from the lateral part of the brainstem, tegmentum of brainstem, and few are passing from the medial part of or the anterior. These are the most anterior. The anterior part of the tegmentum of brainstem. Now, there are few tracts which are not originated from the cerebral cortex. There are few descending tracts which are not originated from the cortical layer. They are cortical level. They are originated from the subcortical level, like rubrospinal tract, which is originated from the red nucleus, and the red nucleus is situated in midbrain. And some tracts need some or a few tracks need some supplementary gray matter area for its origin. Okay, so nature has provided us a supplementary gray matter area in brainstem. Okay, and that supplementary area is situated here. Okay, so these are the supplementary nuclei which gives a special origin to the special types of fiber. So this is called as the nuclei. The supplementary nuclei which is situated in medulla oblongata is called as olivary nuclei. Okay, the supplementary nuclei which is situated in pons is called as pontine nuclei, and the supplementary gray nuclei which is situated in midbrain is called as red nucleus. So we have seen in tegmentum, in medial part, medial gray matter is or a nuclei is present. In lateral part, sensory nuclei is present. Okay, ascending tracts, few ascending tracts are situated most laterally, few ascending tracts are situated anterior part, and apart from this there are special type of gray, supplementary. These are supplementary nuclei, gray matter. It is made up of gray matter nuclei. Okay, and now as I said, when all the tracts do the major crossing at the level of medulla oblongata, the gray column will be broken down into small pieces, but the small amount of gray matter will not broken down into small pieces. Rather than broken down into the small pieces, it will merge with the white matter. Okay, few of the gray matter will not be broken down, and few of the white matter will be scattered. Gray matter will be scattered, and it will merge with the white matter, so, and form the network. So that network is made up of white matter as well as the gray matter, and that network is called as reticular formation. All of you know the reticular formation. Okay, so let me draw it clearly. Okay, so here are some gray matter, some fibers of gray matter and some fibers of white matter. They will be merged with each other and they form the reticular formation, and reticular formation is made up of white matter. It's a network. It is made up of white matter as well as the gray matter. So this reticular formation is situated in medulla oblongata, pons as well as in midbrain. Okay, so clear with this tegmentum. Apart from this, the special type of neuron are situated in tegmentum, and they are called as branchial arches. These branchial arches are a embryological part from which the special structure of head and neck arises. Okay, the branchial arches are it's a part of the embryology from which the special structure of head and neck arises. So here, along with the medial neuron, the branchial arches are situated. Okay, so this is all about the tegmentum part of the brainstem. We have seen what we have seen. We have seen the basis part which is situated in the anterior part of the brainstem, and all the descending tracts are passing from the basis. Then we have seen tegmentum. In tegmentum, most medially well defined gray matter pieces are called as motor gray nuclei, most laterally sensory gray nuclei. Okay, and the ascending tracts, few ascending tracts are situated in a lateral part and few are situated in the anterior part. The nature has also provided us a supplementary gray matter area that are called as a supplementary nuclei. So these are the supplementary gray matter area, and when all the tracts cross with each other at the level of medulla oblongata, few of the gray matter will merge with the white matter and form the network, and that network is called as the reticular formation. And the last is tectum. Tectum is situated here. Okay, the different structures are situated in tectum, in medulla oblongata, pons and midbrain. That the structure of tectum will discuss in my next lecture. So this is all about the situation of descending tract, ascending tract and the cranial nerve system. Now we can understand the situation of cranial nerve nuclei in brainstem, because the situation of cranial nerve nuclei is totally based on the structure or a development of brainstem. I hope you have understood. If you have not understood, you can write your doubt on a comment section. Thank you very much. Happy learning.